Hey, what's going on, Lorain County High School football fans? Welcome back to another episode of The Blitz. I'm your host, Rocco Nucci, with Kristen Bauer behind the camera as always. And let's talk some Lorain County High School football as Week 4 is in the books. Conference play is underway, and things are heating up in a hurry across Lorain County. So quickly, let's dive into what happened in Week 4 and get you set for a fantastic Week 5. Do briefly want to mention, of course, unfortunately, Clearview and Keystone was not played this past week. Hopefully that's a situation where neither school has to deal with that again as we continue to move throughout the season. But talking about some games that did happen this past Friday night, I got to start with the Amherst Comets. They are one of 6 undefeated teams left in the county. They went to Midview and escaped Midview with a 21-16 win. I was there with Gary Pelter at Midview on the call, and this was a fantastic SWC lid-lifting game on WEOL Stream 2 this past Friday night. And how about quarterback Cole Norris for the Comets? I finally got to see this young man play in person, and he surely did not disappoint. Had a 98-yard touchdown run, setting a school record in the first quarter. Had another touchdown run in the ball game as well, that one from 35 yards away, and just played a really, really good ball game as Amherst created a lead early. But Midview came fighting right back, and they had a number of instances at the end where they could have won the ball game. A long sideline pass that could have been a touchdown to wide receiver Dior Jones was erased in the late stages of the ball game as he fumbled it out of bounds through the end zone for a touchback. Midview would get the ball back one more time, but couldn't convert on a goal line situation. So the Amherst defense, they stand tall in Week 4. They get the win, and they move to 4-0. Again, one of 6 unbeaten teams left in Lorain County. Another undefeated team, those Vermilion Sailors. They beat Elyria Catholic 25-9. The Sailors 4-0 for the first time in 31 years. So you got to go back to the early 1990s, the last time that Vermilion got off to a 4-0 start. But they did it with a prolific rushing attack. They had just 22 passing yards against the Panthers, but outgained Elyria Catholic by about 100 yards on the ground. Aaron Mathis, their quarterback, had 2 touchdown runs. So Coach DeFucci and his Sailors playing some really good football as they hit Week 5. Lorain knocked off Firestone 35-27. Titans are 4-0 under first-year head coach James Boyes. Osir Kimball had 2 rushing touchdowns for the Titans in that one. Hyra Williams had a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown for Lorain in that win over Akron Firestone. Avon, they continue to stay perfect. They cruise past Elyria 58-0. Kent State quarterback commit Nolan Good, over 200 passing yards and 4 touchdowns for the Eagles in their blowout win over the Elyria Pioneers. North Ridgeville, this was a bit of a surprise. They dominate Olmsted Falls. They use a monster second half to rout the Bulldogs 43-17. Folks, this game was tied at 10 at halftime. So North Ridgeville going on to outscore Olmsted Falls 33-7 the rest of the way. Zach Barnhart, Charlie Steinmetz, each over 100 yards rushing for Brian Morgan's Rangers. And how about 452 total yards of offense for North Ridgeville in that win? Olmsted Falls, just 103 yards of offense. So you can see the difference in the two sides there. How about Avon Lake? Not undefeated. That did it for our undefeated teams, by the way. North Ridgeville, our final one in the county. But Avon Lake, a huge, and I do mean huge win in the SWC on the road over at Berea Mid-Park. And this was the Aiden Stewart game. If you don't know about this young man, you better find out quickly. Aiden Stewart, a tremendous story about him. Lived in Australia for previous years, came over to Avon Lake here in the States. I believe it's his grandparents who live in Avon Lake. While he was in Australia, fell in love with the game of football, wanted to play college football, decided he needed to come to the States to make that happen, and he's off to a fantastic start here in this season. Aiden Stewart, 3 receiving touchdowns for the Shoremen in that win over Berea Mid-Park, had a kickoff return touchdown. He also had the game-winning 2-point conversion at the end of the game, so make sure you read up on Aiden Stewart. He'll be a name to follow the rest of the way here in this 2024 season. Black River in the Lorain County League, they squeak by Wellington in overtime, 13-7, over 350 rushing yards for the Pirates in that win. Seth Gaspari had 215 of them, a monster night for the Pirates senior. Columbia, they get a home win on Military Appreciation Night over Firelands, 35-19, in a game that you heard this past Friday on WEOL. Gage Maruna, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns for the Raiders. Logan Mangy hit the century mark on the ground for Columbia as well. And finally, Brookside, they blanked Oberlin 38-0. Trevor Kitzberger, 3 rushing touchdowns for Scott O'Donnell's Cardinals in that one. So there's a quick look at Week 4. What's coming up this Friday here in Week 5? Well, I'll tell you. First on the radio in Stream 1 for WEOL, it'll be Keystone at Columbia. We're going right back over to Raider Nation, where the Raiders welcome in the Keystone Wildcats after they were not able to play this past Friday. So that'll be one to keep our eyes on WEOL. Again, the radio in Stream 1. Our Stream 2 game takes us to Brookside, where the Cardinals welcome in Wellington. Brookside, again, coming off that big win over Oberlin. Wellington, they're hungry after a tough loss this past Friday night to Black River. And then our Medina County matchup on Stream 3, it'll feature those Black River Pirates as they welcome in the Firelands Falcons. They're 0-4. Firelands looking for their first win. Quickly, some other games to look out for. In the SWC, a battle of the 4-0s, North Ridgeville and Avon. That should be a really good ball game. We'll see if the Rangers can maybe get over that hump in the SWC and take down the big dog in the Avon Eagles. Vermilion goes to Sandusky, a tough test for the Sailors. We'll see if they can keep their perfect season going, where they put their 4-0 record on the line against Sandusky. Amherst goes to Berea Mid-Park. Can the Comets keep things rolling? Their perfect season on the line there as well. And then Midview goes to Avon Lake in just a classic SWC battle. So again, there's a look at Week 4 and a lot to look forward to here in Week 5 on the Lorain County High School football scene. So for Kristen Bauer behind the camera, I am your host, Rocco Nushi, saying thank you for watching another episode of The Blitz. Enjoy the games this Friday night, and we'll talk to you next week.